Knockout Radio talking sports with Randy Harris and myself.
No. So what was the question? I already forgot what you brought up.
So they were going to retire Bill Russell's number 6.
No. You talked about the photo.
Well, no, but you said it was in the garden in the rafters. It might have been number 9. It might have been upside down. You don't really know, but I'm sure it's there, number 6. But for the league to retire a number, I think it's silly. But Koby Bryant lost his life tragically in a helicopter crash. Should they retire number 24 for the league? Like,
no.
Would you? Like, would a tragedy of that magnitude constitute? Then why would you do it for Bill Russell?
That's my point. And now, Bill Russell, legend, and you know my word. You know that I hate that word. It's overused. But no, it's because there's tragedies all the time. And I won't say a name. Another NBA player tragically dies. Are you going to do that for him, or is it just because it was Kobe? You know, who is top. Whatever.
Right.
3, 5, 7, 9, 2.
24.
You know,
24.
Or 8. He could be the top 8.
Oh, top 8.
Like that. So no, I would 100% be against it. Now you mentioned about the photo.
Yeah. So his wife's going to court for suing for damage and fear that the photo's going to get leaked and you were going to see a different image of him, in death.
It's an interesting case. First and foremost, whoever took the photo is, well, I don't want to get sued, so I don't want to say the wrong thing, should be fired, okay? I don't know if that's going to change anything, because she's not necessarily going to, she is going to sue him, but not necessarily him. She's going to be suing, I'm sure, the police force and everything else. It's kind of like the guy who stole the Tom Brady jersey. Okay? Sure. You steal the Tom Brady jersey, now you have it. You can't show anybody or you're going to get caught. Right. So what happened? He showed somebody and he got caught. So it's stupid to do that. It's going to be interesting. She's going to win money, which is a shame. I don't even know where to go with it. It was wrong of them to do it, but does it make it the police force or the sheriff's department or whoever he was in, the firemen who saw it, are they going to be sued because they saw it?
I don't know. The bar people that were just hanging out at a bar,
I don't want to know details, just in case it's a yes.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a video similar to that would fall in that circle?
I did, but that's because I knew the guy who owned the company that cleaned up crime scenes.
Well, there's more than one. I just thought of one that you also saw. Now that I think about
it,
there's another one that you saw that I saw as well. That, if leaked out, would get people in trouble. And whatever.
Yeah.
My son saw one from the war. Soldiers they videotape stuff, and if so, it happens all the time.
Sure.
But I've always said how like covering the Bucs now is so different than before because of social media, because of these cell phones, because you can take videos and things can happen. But yeah, you forgot about that one video.
But does it change anything for Kobe's legacy? Like if people see him at the
no, of course not.
I mean, like Paul Walker and his tragedy.
Of course not. It doesn't change their legacy.
Right. I mean,
it's just, God, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I can't afford the lawyers. You can sue for anything. Doesn't mean you can win, but you can sue for anything. No, it will not change his legacy. Just like, Anderson Silva losing those last fights doesn't change his legacy. Tito Ortiz losing to Anderson Silva that we saw down in Miami doesn't change his legacy. It might to people who never knew who Koby Bryant was. All they would see then is this dead body. But I think it's ridiculous. But I also think that she'll probably win.
I agree with you.
Okay, thanks for the everything you brought back.
I can be serious. I can be a professional.
I saw, and I'm sure this was on the Book of Face as well. As much as I hate the Book of Face, it brings a lot of material.
It does.
To this.
Absolutely.
So there are some Tampa Bay Buccaneer fans who are upset that Julio Jones is not wearing number 11 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
Number 11 is being worn by Blaine Gabbert.
Okay.
Who has been number 11. So these fans thought, well, Julio deserves number 11. It's kind of on the same, hemisphere of retiring one number throughout a league, for a reason, whatever that reason may be. He's wearing 11. Julio don't mean anything to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. For them to say, well, he is a potential Hall of Famer, he should get 11. You ask, the rule, it's not even really unwritten, the rule, you negotiate if you want the number.
You got to buy it.
You got to buy it.
Got to buy it. I'm sure it's for sale.
Everything's for sale.
Everything?
Everything. Really. Everything is for sale. What isn't for sale in the world? What isn't for sale?
Jesus' sandals.
If you could find them, they'd be for sale.
No, I don't think so.
I do.
They'd be in a museum.
Okay.
They'd be in the Smithsonian.
Okay. But
Well, if it was on the U.S. soil.
But somebody would have to own them. Okay?
Yeah.
So whatever that item is.
Like an agency or like a museum or a country.
I was going to say some things, but I'm not. I'm not going to say the wrong thing. I'm not going to be you. If somebody owned those and they loaned them to a museum, at some point the right number comes along.
Oh, so is that how the Smithsonian works? So those are loaned items?
There are loaned items in there.
Really?
Sure.
So like they own to the estate of Elvis Presley or or whatever, astronauts. And
I don't think everything in there is owned by the Smithsonian.
Oh.
Some things could be donated. It's like the Hall of Fame. There's stuff in the Hall of Fame that's not owned by the Hall of Fame.
Really? In Cleveland?
Or Cooperstown, Cooperstown is baseball.
Oh, I was thinking about rock and roll.
Canton, Cleveland would be the rock and roll.
There's only one rock and roll Hall of Fame. There's only one Hall of Fame to me, and that's the rock and roll.
Have you ever been there?
I have.
I ran through that place so fast. It was cool, but I got bored.
Yeah, I mean the bus out front was cool. I forget what band, but
the bus is outside.
It was cool.
I was there. Shane Grossman came to the radio show. We broadcasted live from the lobby there. How about that? CB Dollaway stopped by.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was definitely pretty cool. No, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was cool. I enjoyed it. But
no band named Cleveland there. Disappointing.
Well, that would be Drew Carey.
Oh, he's a band.
Did anybody promote Cleveland more than Drew Carey?
Jim Brown.
He didn't promote it. He just
put it on the
played
map.
there.
He put it on the map.
Jim Brown put it on the map more than Otto Graham?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. 3 yards in a pile of dust. The greatest actor of all time.
If it wasn't
Conor
for
McGregor.
Otto, if it wasn't for Otto handing the ball to him, yeah, you don't know what to say on that one. Finished you up there.
Well, for the Roadhouse, like the remake movie, put him in. Put Jim Brown in the movie.
That's what?
He's an actor.
As the cooler?
He could be a bouncer. He'd be a great bouncer in that Roadhouse movie.
Who was? Do you remember the big fight scene outside the bar?
Yeah.
Wasn't it one of the Funks? I think it was one of the Funks that was in that fight.
Terry Funk?
I don't remember which. It was probably Terry.
I think it was.
Yeah, he was in that little ordeal. That's when the girlfriend comes up and runs into Patrick. How do you replace Patrick Swayze? Seriously.
I mean, Conor's a good match. Conor's a great. I mean, he's a great showman. He's got global appeal. Everybody knows him. As long as they don't put Khabib against him because he's going to lose in the movie.
You're just. Hold on. Shut up for a minute. You're talking about two different characters. You're comparing two different characters.
Who the fuck is the other guy? Patrick Swayze. He's like a ghost.
Patrick Swayze was the cooler. Conor McGregor is playing the bad guy. The guy who has his heart ripped out of his chest by Patrick Swayze in the water.
Oh, that's changed everything.
Do I really need to say this before I go to the break? You are an idiot. This is Knockout Radio brought to you by 8 Man Strong and Staff Zone.